SHW. This is our wrestling.
This is insane what we're seeing right now.
We're going out tonight. It's been a long, long time. Make sure I look just right. It's going down.
Heads up, here comes the spread.
All hail the queen!
Another spear, will it be enough?
No, not this
like
way.
this, not like
Come
this,
on.
no.
This is just bedlam right now.
Hey, what is going on here?
Let's start this party, then I'll feel alright.
You've got to be kidding me.
Holy cow.
And now, the voices of SHW, Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's going on, everybody? It's that time of week again. Our favorite time of week. It's time for the SHW official podcast. SHW, This Is Our Wrestling. B-Double Brandon Benefield, GB Gerard Bonner, and the lovely Diana Michelle. How's everybody doing this week? Good to see you guys.
Doing well. I mean, this week's kind of going by kind of fast for me, but hey, we got a little while and then we're going to be all together again. And hey, new champ, new champ.
That's right.
You got that right. 2 weeks and counting before we're all together again, but it's always great to be back with the SHW faithful. It's been a good week, and yeah, I am excited.
I'm excited. Braves are in the playoffs still, so I'm still excited about that. But I'll tell you what, like you said, 2 weeks away, SHW 33. Can't get here fast enough. And somebody's paging Diana, but it's all good.
Because she's busy like that.
She's a busy lady. Exactly.
Listen, she's in high. Speaking of Diana, how was your MMA event? You were.
Oh, yeah.
You were.
Oh my gosh, that is a completely different world.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it was good. It was really good, and I feel like I did well. But I think I sat at the cage with my mouth dropped open most of the time because
It's a different world.
it's crazy. This one guy knocked the guy completely. I mean, he just went stiff like a board and just fell. And I was like, is he dead? Because he is
Done.
So, yeah, it was kind of cool to actually say, winner by knockout.
Yeah.
What? It was awesome. It was awesome. I'd do it again for real.
I love that. And I love, what people don't often know is, the three of us are working really, really hard in a lot of spaces. And, you didn't win Announcer of the Year for nothing, right? You're that good. And so to be able to see other disciplines recognize that and really benefit from your expertise is exciting. So I love celebrating that kind of stuff because you're all over the place.
And I was nervous. I'm not going to lie because I didn't know. I didn't know I had to go back into the cage and wait for the judges to tell me who won. I was just going to say, you're winner, because that's how we do it.
Right.
No, I have to slow it down and go in there and wait and then have them stand with the referee and get ready to, who is what. And there was a ring girl there who was all doing her thing.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool. I mean, and that crowd was so loud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
It was definitely crazy. But
That's
yes,
awesome.
thanks for asking.
I love
Very
it.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's no telling. We've heard about 4 big matches this week coming up at SHW 33. One of those could end by knockout. We don't know because those are some big old matches. And we will talk about those a little later. We have a special guest this week we're about to get to. But I did want to remind everybody, if you haven't yet, I believe it's up by now on IWTV, SHW, Still Here 3. Be sure to check that out. If you weren't there live, oh boy, did you miss one.
Where you at?
Yeah, where were you? Where were you? But
you missed a
go
good
back.
one.
You missed a great one. Go back and watch it and check it out. Let us know what you think. And in addition to that, also be sure to check out Hold Your Fork, the SHW documentary. If you haven't seen that yet, I can't put that over enough because it's a great documentary. And not only do you see all three of us on there, you will see our guest who was featured on the documentary as well. I'm talking about Cheyenne, the sign girl. You can't miss her. She's at every show holding up the signs, front row, right on the side of the entranceway there. So without any further ado, let's get to it. Here's our talk with Cheyenne, the sign girl. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we have a special guest this week, the one and only Cheyenne, the sign girl. You know her from SHW. She's at every show with the great signs, front row. Cheyenne, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Now I'm just gonna tell everybody that the last few shows you've been hitting me up saying, "Hey, when are you gonna have me on?" Well, now here you go. You're on
I
here,
sure have.
and here's the thing: we want to know the great signs. Like you guys come up with the coolest signs at every show. Is that you and your dad collaborating? Or you coming up with the ideas? Who's doing that?
So me and my dad will normally sit around and we'll think about past matches and upcoming matches with wrestlers, and we'll think about what's funny and what's stupid and what would look cool and what would look like trash, and we throw it all together and it just kind of happens.
Oh, poor David.
Poor
I say
David.
that because there's been so many David signs. Poor David. That is too funny.
They're great
I
though.
love that.
They're great,
Yes,
David
I
signs.
love it.
And let's be honest, David deserves it for the most part.
He does.
Yeah.
He definitely does. That is so great. That's cool that you guys sit around and talk wrestling. How awesome. These are my guys. These are who I talk wrestling with because nobody understands me when it comes to wrestling. So this is who I talk wrestling with. So but that is pretty awesome how you guys sit around and do that. I love that.
So I'm curious, Cheyenne, like, what was your first SHW show and the moment where you said, we've got to do these amazing signs?
So my first SHW show was the very first one that was ever around. But when I came up with the sign girl, David and Danny and Ashton and a bunch of other wrestlers were actually in Immortal Tattoos, and I would just happen to be hanging out, and they all had this joke with David, and they were like, "Oh, David Poopy," and I was like, you know, it would be hilarious if we got sheet metal and painted it to look like a poster. And so that's how the David Ali, more like David Poopy thing came around, was just kind of us messing around. And ever since, he was like, "You got to do more of these," and I was like, all right. And then I became the sign girl. So
Yeah.
If I can find it, I'll have to dig it up because it was like one of the earlier shows. But you guys had the little the poop head,
yes.
and he's wearing it, right?
We still have that.
Okay.
Wow.
David's wearing it. And I think you got a picture with him wearing it or something.
Yeah, we did a little promo thing after that, and I brought it, and I was like, it was like, that was my second thing. I didn't really have a sign that month, but I was like, you know, like, if you could incorporate somehow this, I'd love for you to come over towards the railing and I could just stick it on your head. And he was like, that'll be hilarious.
It would be.
Well,
Totally.
if I can find the picture, I'm going to put it in right now, and so
Yes.
everybody can see it. And also throughout the interview here, I also am going to show because Corey, our buddy from Wrestling Snapshots, always gets some great pictures of you with your signs. So I want to show a
I
few of
love his
those
pictures.
show a few of those during the episode as well. But you know, Diana was talking about you guys, how cool it is that you guys at home are just talking wrestling, and you're such a wrestling family. And I'm looking at the wall behind you, and I'm blown away. Is this like the wrestling cave in your house?
This is the wrestling cave. Oh my gosh. We need more room.
How many figures do you have there? Any idea?
I would say somewhere close to 1,000.
Wow.
And some of them even hung up.
We should do that. We should come over and do a show live from
That
the
would be
wrestling
nice.
cave.
That would be
And
awesome.
then we can all get tattoos.
Well, maybe.
See that line, right? You just I'm not brave enough.
Okay.
We can all get a V3.
Now that
Or a
could
spoon.
work.
We can put a spoon
Get the
right
little
here.
Southern Honor logo.
The Southern
Yeah.
Honor logo. A little pot to stir because GB's always stirring the pot.
Not me. No, not me.
Far be it from GB.
Far be it
Far be it.
from me. Oh my gosh. So what's so interesting about this is when you think about, you know, different eras and things like that, there was always like the sign person, you know,
Right.
in all of these promotions. And I think it's so cool that you are like that for SHW. Tell us a bit about like the creation of these signs. So how does the idea come up? And then how is the whole sign created? Because these aren't like, you know, I remember when I would try to create signs years ago and it's trying to think of some cool saying. I'm not artistic enough to draw this and make it look so amazing. So what's that process like for you guys?
Yeah, so once they release the matches, and I'll specifically look for David's. I'll see who he's wrestling, And me and my dad will sit around for a couple days and toss around some ideas. And once we come up with something that's really catchy and will be easy to put on a sign, we kind of just go at it, and we come up with a little cartoon drawing and we throw that on, and that's kind of it. I mean, we get like poster boards. Oh my gosh, we have so many poster boards in the basement right now because with school starting, we couldn't find any. So we like any time that we would go somewhere and they had poster boards, we'd buy them all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like set for the next 100 months.
Wow.
That's awesome. And I got to tell you, it's so cool to see the wrestlers kind of flip out when they see their signs, because we see pictures after the shows of them holding the signs, or maybe you guys give them the signs or whatever.
Yeah, I normally give anybody the signs.
That's awesome. And they get so geeked out about it. And I'm not going to lie to you. We saw a picture that I guess your dad put together that he gave to David Ali recently. And all three of us were on it. We were blown away.
I know. I love that.
And by the way, just real quick, let me just give a shout out. So in case you haven't put it together yet, Cheyenne's dad is Mike from Immortal Tattoos. Immortal Tattoos is one of our great sponsors. Yeah, one of our great sponsors at SHW. So I just want to give Immortal Tattoos a shout out. And there's Mike.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, man.
I'm here in the background, just hanging around.
We're just giving Immortal Tattoos a shout out for being a great sponsor for SHW. And we saw the picture that you sent to David that had the three of us in the top corner. And it was totally unexpected. And David posted it. And I was like, wait a second. That's us.
Yeah, that was really fun to do, too.
That was awesome, man.
That's
great work,
so cool.
as always.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I am curious. I'm that behind the scenes guy. So I'm curious, how long does it take to go from the idea of a sign to it actually formatting? Because, you know, there's the drawing, there's the saying, there's the, I don't know how many takes you guys do before you go, oh yeah, this is the one. So about how long does that take?
Yeah, so it really depends on how many hours we're able to put into it a day.
Okay.
Normally signs take a week or two. Going from idea to actually stenciling it out on the poster. We're normally able to come up with a good saying or so within the first few days, and then coming up with a little animation to go with it, and then the colors and how we're going to write it out and everything like that. That kind of just takes about 2 weeks. So
wow.
Yeah,
That's dedication. Yeah. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort.
What sign have you made in the past year since the pandemic that you are most proud of?
Most proud of? Oh gosh.
The one that you was like, this is my favorite.
Oh gosh, what would you say, Dad?
My favorite is recommended.
Dad's favorite is recommend out with a hot dog.
I love that one, by the way. Don't get TV started, but I thought that one was well, the best part was the look on the hot dog's face, because the hot dog was like, you know.
I guess that would be my favorite too. I mean, that one was pretty funny. I was kind of against that one at first, and then I was like, let's just do it.
It was in Danny's burn book, you know.
Yeah, but didn't she have that saying in there for Gary?
What Gary
has it in there for everyone.
Right. I think a lot of people, apparently a lot of people at this point have made out with hot dogs. The very first one, this is when the burn book was like, not even a burn book yet. She walked out, and I think she was about to have a match with Lindsay Snow, and it was supposed to be just a regular match, but they went all over the building and got kind of crazy before they even got in the ring, before the bell even rang. And when she was on her way out, she had like notebook pages, right? And it wasn't even the burn book officially yet. And it was copies of it. She came to the commentary table and she threw them at us. And I looked at it and I said, Gary made out with a hot dog. And then next thing you know, Lindsay Snow snuck up behind her, kicked her, and the sheets went flying. And then chaos ensued. But that was like the early genesis of the burn book. And so apparently lots of people had made out with hot dogs, and Rekka apparently was included in that. So anyways, there you go.
I would say my second favorite sign was the No David, I'm Your Savior, and I did the whole cosplay with it. That was super fun. I loved that cosplay.
It was the last show, right?
Yes, the last show, the very latest show. I was very devastated when he didn't show up in all of his gear, and I was like, well, now I kind of feel like an idiot. But
you look great. You look great.
Nobody expected him to dress like Pharaoh, man. I mean, I was like, what is going on?
Pretty brilliant.
Yeah,
You
it
looked
was
awesome. You had the belt and everything.
I
Yeah.
sure did.
Very
that was
creative.
awesome.
That was super fun. I would love to do more cosplay like that. Like that was my first time doing a cosplay, and that was
Do it, man. That's awesome. I mean, you're already going to stand out because of your artwork, but yeah,
That was
definitely.
awesome. So we talked about favorite signs. Let's go back, and I know you guys have been there from the very beginning, and there's a lot to cover. It's been 32 shows at this point. So does any match stick out as like your favorite match ever, or at least a few maybe that stick out to you?
At the time, this was not my very favorite, and I was very freaked out. But definitely the tables match. I can't remember what show that was at, but the tables
third
match
show.
between Sunny Days and Kevin Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! I was sitting front row, and he crashed through the table, and I was like, he looks really hurt. And I was like, he's really playing the part. And I looked, and there was like this big puddle of blood, and I was like, oh, he's really hurt. And I was like, what do I do? I mean, he's stuck under the table, and I turned to Dad, and I was like, he's bleeding, like he's dead.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, no, he's fine. And I was like, he doesn't look fine.
Look at it.
He has a gash in his head, and he's bleeding
Right.
all over the place.
Yeah. But looking back on it, that was a really good match, and that was by far one of my favorites. I'd say another one of my favorites would be Still Here 1. It was the cage match, and who was it? It was Logan Creed and Corey Hollis.
Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty epic. I liked
Right.
that one. And then at the very end, when Corey went through the ring, that was unexpected.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Now, you touched on a second ago, Sonny going through the table, and you happened to be featured in the documentary that came out, and you're actually talking about that part when you were, and you're actually on video. You're looking right at him, standing in, at your seat.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about the documentary. How'd that come about, and like how was that experience for you being part of the documentary?
Yeah, so it really just came about. I was sitting there with my friends, and it was before the show started. We were setting up a table, Immortal Tattoos was, and Dylan came out of the little back area, and he was like, hey, you want to be on the Southern Honor documentary? And I was like, yeah. And I got up, and I was like, let's go, bro. I thought he was joking, and I thought he was going to be like, no, sit down, you're weird. But no, he was like, all right, let's go. And I was like, so I started walking to the back with him, and he was like, tell me about this, tell me about that. And I was like, okay.
Very
So
cool.
just being caught off guard like that, but it overall was really good. Yeah.
And what'd you guys think? I mean, obviously you saw the premiere of the documentary, and
Yeah.
you've seen it since it came out.
I learned a little more about Southern Honor than I thought I knew.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's interesting because obviously
Me too.
you've been there since the beginning. So that's interesting to hear.
So learning behind the scenes, I'm always interested in behind the scenes like GB. I was very interested to learn how some of the productions came about and how Southern Honor came about, because I was there, like Dylan was telling about us, Southern Honor, and his idea for it and everything, and we were so excited we could see his face just light up talking about it. And so I was very excited to come see Southern Honor, but like hearing some of the background story and how Southern Honor actually came about was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
It really is.
Well, right on.
Crazy.
GB?
Yeah, no, that's totally awesome, and I'm intrigued. So, having been there for basically all of Southern Honor now, and you've seen obviously a lot of stars being born, you've seen a lot of folks come through. We talked about your favorite match, but give me your top 3 moments in Southern Honor, because you've had a
Ooh.
yeah, you and that's tough. You've been there for all of them, so. Kind of what are the top 3 moments that if you had to tell somebody about Southern Honor, what would be the top 3 moments that you have?
Definitely not that notebook. Don't touch that. Sorry, my dad's being weird in the background.
Oh, Dad.
I would say Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega and Cody. That was wow. Like
Yeah.
it all went dark, and I was like, what's happening? And they came out, and I was like, I've heard about you. I've never really seen them wrestle before then, but I was like, I've heard about them. I know they're super big, and I was like, I want pictures.
Yeah.
I would say that would have to be my number one moment. I guess my second moment would be my first sign, because that was like a really big deal for me.
Yeah.
And then after the show, getting to hit David with it, I begged him. I was like, can I please hit you with this? Please, please, please. And he was like, yes. And I was like, thank you. So I hit him with it, and I thought I heard him because he was like kind of like stopped for a minute, and I was like, oh no. And I was like, are you okay? And he was like, no, I'm good. And I was like,
So then you hit him again.
Right.
I was like, can I hit you again? That would be my second moment, and I'd say my third moment would be the street fight. I think it was the street fight, and it was Fear and Austin and David. And
Yes.
barbed wire
Mhm.
ring and the barbed wire board, and oh gosh, that was
The bunkhouse match. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was wild.
great.
That
That
was.
I would say that
wild.
would be my number 3 moment.
Yeah. Good
All right.
moments. Good moments.
That is very awesome.
Yeah, we actually have the kendo stick from the street fight.
Oh, really?
It's hanging
Wow.
up on our wall, and it's got dried blood all over it, and it's
Oh,
disgusting. But you
that's
know,
so cool.
it's a
Right
really
on.
cool addition.
Yeah. Well, I just love seeing you guys at all the shows. And of course, you're always in your same spot right up there in that front corner along the entranceway there. And what's really cool to me, and other folks might not know this, but of course we all follow each other on social media. But you guys are even going to AEW, and you basically have the same seats there. And
Yeah.
this was like the show a few weeks right before the pandemic hit. They came to Atlanta. They were at State Farm Arena, and you guys were right in that same spot. And there's video. It was after the show, I guess, went off the air, right? And you guys
it
had
was
done.
right after the show went off the air, and I was holding that picture of Dusty, and Cody got really emotional, and he came over and he was like, thank you so much for this. And I was like, take it, please take it. And he was like, no, that's like your hard work. And I was like, take it. And I like shoved it at him, and he took it, and he was like, I could tell he was very emotional.
Yeah, that was so cool. And the best part was that, so it didn't make it on TNT that night, but AEW posted the video of it from, what happened after the show, and they put it on social media. And I was like, hey, Cheyenne the Sign Girl and Mike, what are they doing? This is great. Oh, it's so cool to see
They're
you guys there.
making towns, man.
We're hoping to get closer to the same seats, or maybe even closer to the rail for the show in Duluth that's coming up.
Yeah, coming up in December. Absolutely.
Very cool.
So it's just always cool to see you guys in the same spot. And then it was so surreal to see you guys on TV. I was like, wait a second.
That was
I
a
know
very
them.
surreal moment.
Yeah.
I was like, is this real?
That was so
Like,
cool.
I
And it
had
was
to
a great,
pinch myself.
yeah, it was a great drawing too. It had Dusty and I guess Dustin, Cody, man, it was really cool. So, well, is there anything else you'd like your fans to know before we let you sign off here? We're so glad that you could join us, but now that you're here, finally, anything you want to say to the fans? Encourage them to come out to the next show?
I would say definitely come out to the next show, because it's crazy. You never know what's going to happen to Southern Element. I think that's it.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you. And fans, we're telling you, you got to come out, see what kind of crazy signs that Cheyenne brings to the shows, and join us November 5th for the next one, SHW 33. Cheyenne, thank you so much for joining us. Tell your dad thanks as well.
Yeah,
For having
you're the
me.
coolest.
Awesome.
All right. We'll see you. We'll see you soon.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye. All right, that was so much fun hanging out with Cheyenne, the sign girl. Amazing signs representing immortal tattoos. And I'm telling you, one of the coolest things about pro wrestling are great signs and amazing fans. And each promotion and organization kind of has that one fan that always sticks out. For years, there was this really cool guy in WWE whose name is escaping me right now, but he had the blue shirt on. He had the red hat. He was the sign guy. I met him before. He's a really cool dude. So we have our own sign girl, and it's Cheyenne, and she's just amazing. That was awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the artwork and the time, like she was saying, that it takes to put into that, and the dedication.
Listen, I couldn't do it because I
I like to think I can draw a little bit when I want, but I've never anything I've ever done up against any of those signs.
I mean, Towers loved it so much. He had a
He
T-shirt
made a
made.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just awesome, and it just goes to show that the signs impact the wrestlers just as much as the wrestlers impact the fans. And so,
do you notice how some of the guys, when they come down, when they're coming out for their match, they see them on this while they're on the stage, and they completely lose it and like,
oh yeah, like I one of the best reactions for me is seeing Huck go over there when she had the Waffle House signs.
Yes.
And he loved it,
Hold
you know,
my
for
hat.
All-Star Special. And I was just like, this is brilliant, you know?
There's
Love
one
it.
that's got Logan Chase where he's wearing like the Daisy Dukes and stuff. Oh,
Yes, and
It's-
he's like, his booty's kind of hanging out and stuff. He
Oh,
showed it to me.
gosh.
Like,
oh.
he was excited about that.
So
Brilliant.
you got
That's
to
absolutely
come
brilliant.
see come to the shows anyway. We tell you that every
Yeah.
week, but definitely want to check out what Cheyenne's got in store for the upcoming show. Like I mentioned, it's November 5th, SHW 33. We are officially kicking off year 4.
Woo, holy cow.
Unbelievable.
Holy
But speaking of 4, we've released 4 matches this week, or announced 4 matches that are coming up. And just real quick, I don't think we'll be here next week. We got to take the week off. But they're
It's
going to
my
be
birthday next week, so you know.
we're going to be partying all week for your birthday. That's what it
Pow.
is.
Pow.
So there's obviously we're going to be announcing the rest of the matches next week. So stay tuned to social media.
But if I can, and
Yeah.
I don't normally do this,
Yes.
but I only have one bone to pick with Cheyenne,
Uh-oh.
and I
Oh,
wouldn't do it while she was here.
I think I know
but-
why. I think I know what. Go ahead.
Rekka made out with a hot dog. How do you treat your queen that way? I don't understand. And I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt because she's our guest, and I appreciate her. I love her. But I got to tell you, I just can't stand for the disrespect for our queen. She is with a hot dog? Oh,
Well, in Cheyenne's
the queen doesn't even eat hot dogs.
in
She doesn't even eat hot
Cheyenne's
dogs.
defense,
Uh-huh.
she did say that her and Mike came up with ideas together.
Well, I can lump him in as well. Okay,
Well, here's the thing, though.
disrespect for the queen
They're just
is
going
not
off.
a good thing.
They're just going off what Danny put in the burn book, and I don't know that what she puts
so
in
it's
the burn book.
Danny's fault.
But I'm not saying is
Okay.
what's in the burn book true or not true. I who's to say?
Well, then that explains why the queen brought her right in front of me, because she knew the disrespect and decided to whip the disrespect out of Danny Jordan. I understand now. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. I just, on behalf of the queendom, I could not just let that slide. So
when are you
terrible.
bringing her crown, mister?
You know, I need to do that.
I
I
mean,
need to do that. I need to just sit the crown in front of me in honor of her. And whenever she comes out, you know, place it on her head. Some organization is doing some tournament about a queen's crown. Why? The queen already exists. Her name is Rekka Tahaka. Duh.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Anyways.
let me not dovetail.
all hail
No,
the
just-
queen.
all
All hail
hail.
the queen. All hail the queen.
There it is. Thank you. See, I'm telling you, the movement is growing, and I am very proud.
It's growing to
Well, I
2
will
now.
say, I
All
can
right.
jump on
It's
the
more than
bandwagon a lot
2.
easier than the Alleluia. I promise you. I could definitely
See,
jump on that
and
one.
look, and nobody put a bat to you to force you to say it.
So-
see,
You know what I meant to ask Cheyenne, and you know it's probably better off it's a surprise anyway. But she talked about how she really likes to focus on David, usually on David's match, and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
whatever his match is going to be. Well, we seem to kind of learn that now that Owen Knight is the new, which it feels good to say that, the
and
new
new Mhm.
SHW champion. I don't know when we'll see David Ali again. Could be sooner than later. Could be later than sooner. I don't know. But I meant to ask Cheyenne. Well, now if he's not going to be there, who's going to be the new focus for the signs? But
Maybe
perhaps
it's the
it'll
champ.
Be, perhaps it'll be
champ.
the
Yeah.
working team captain Owen Knight. So
That's a good
we'll
focus.
see. But again, maybe it's better it's a surprise anyway. We don't want to spoil it for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Well.
we shall see. But speaking of SHW 33 coming up November 5th, we have heard at least 4 matches announced this week. Let's touch on those real quick. The first one that was announced, I believe it was on Tuesday, really caught my attention because it's 2 giant men going one-on-one. I'm talking about Austin Towers and Michael Judas. We saw what happened in the War Chamber. after Judas was eliminated. He was officially eliminated, but before he exited the chamber, he took out everybody, including Austin Towers, the Chief. And he had this huge fall-away slam that he hit him with, and a choke slam. Like, just, it was amazing to see somebody do that to Austin Towers.
Yeah.
And Austin Towers is not used to being treated that way. And so he's got it out. He's coming for some revenge, I believe, on Michael Judas at SHW 33.
GB, I'm gonna let you have that one right now.
Oh, well, I'll say this. I think there's so much intrigue to this match for a lot of reasons. One of the things that we talked about during the War Chamber was that both Judas and Towers had been known as being kind of the muscle behind their men that were holding the championships, be it Corey Hollis or David Ali. Well, both of those guys certainly seem to be out of the picture. Corey Hollis, of course, being retired.
Mm-hmm.
David Ali has said, you know, we may not see him after this upcoming event on the 30th. So that means these two behemoths have an opportunity to focus singularly on their solo careers and to battle each other. I'm going to tell you, I think this is an incredible start to year 4 of SHW. I would not want to miss that one. That's going to be massive.
Definitely. And I said before that maybe Judas is maybe he's on the track to go for the title himself. And if he ever did become the SHW champion, I mean, I'm all for that. I mean, I want Owen to have his reign. I want him to do as long as he can. But if Judas ever did become somehow the champion, I can't be mad at that. And God bless Austin Towers. He is a monster himself. But there's something about Judas and his, I guess, aura that he carries with him. And it's just, you don't want to mess with him. You don't want to be in his darkness when he's, when he's in that mode. And it's going to be an awesome match. I mean, if the building can contain him, it's going to be something to see.
Yeah,
that's the question.
That's a great point. So those of you that were there, or at least heard us talking about it, there was a show called Hell Freezes Over several weeks ago that the three of us were at. And the main event of that match had 4 big old dudes in there. And we wondered, well, it was a good thing that match went on last because we weren't sure if the ring would hold up. Now, my point is, I don't know where on the card this match is going to go, but I'm not sure that that the ring will be able to hold up with Judas and Towers in the ring together. So, we'll see. Luckily, there were 2 rings there last time, and they weren't in the ring together that long. But that was my first thought. Well, I guess if one of these implodes, then there's at least a second ring to work in.
Right.
But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Towers is gonna want that revenge though, because basically what Judas did to him caused him to get eliminated.
Absolutely.
Blew his shot at his second shot at getting the title. So
yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. But let's talk about somebody who has made an appearance in SHW. He showed up in the Rumble Jack, but we've yet to see him. And, well, actually, he was on the pre-show in tag team action, but we've yet to see him in singles action in SHW. I'm talking about Bad News and Tattoos, Carly Bravo. He'll be taking on Kevin Ryan in singles action coming up at SHW 33. I'm excited to see him finally in a singles match.
Yes, I am a fan of Carly Bravo, inside and outside the ring. He is a cool individual. I do like his I guess his excitement. He's always on the game. He's always moving. He's quick. He's I think he's very skilled. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Now, Kevin, on the other hand, I have a bone to pick. I mean, leaving Jordan. Do I have to go through this again? Leaving Jordan to be smushed by Cyrus. Pancake, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, Carly all the way.
All right.
Yeah, I will tell you, I had the pleasure of seeing Carly's first official match during Showcase 1 of the Nightmare Factory. And the second I saw him, I was just like, and I told Brandon, this guy's a star He is a star. He is a star. And he has had an amazing trajectory in the first year of his career, appearances all over the place. And of course, he had that great tag team match as part of the pre-show, teaming with the Captain Sean Dean, our first ever pre-show. And now he is getting his first singles match in SHW. And let me tell you, against the first ever SHW champion, if Carly Bravo pulls this off, which he very well could do, something amazing, I think, will happen for his career. And let me just tell you, this is not a far-fetched idea. Carly Bravo could very easily walk out of SHW 33 with a big win.
He very well could. And, you know, what's very cool about what you just touched on at GB is the fact that we were able to see him literally from the very beginning of his career. We saw his first official match at that first showcase, and we've seen him ever since just improve and improve and improve. And every step along the way, we've seen him show up in AEW Dark Elevation, numerous indies around the Southeast, and of course, showing up in SHW here and there. He was at that Hell Freezes Over show as well that we talked about. And so it's been very cool to see him progress. And it's only been a year, you know,
Not even a full year.
Less than a year.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see his progress. And on that note, real quick, I just want to say what a lot of fans don't necessarily realize is that folks like us, we've been seeing these guys progress from day one in SHW, and it's cool to be able to see that and be able to say 3 years later, if these guys are showing up on WWE, NXT, AEW, MLW, NWA, whatever the case may be, to go, remember when? I remember them from back then, you know, and it's just really neat to be able to see that progression. And we're seeing, you know, tomorrow's stars today at SHW. Well, they're stars in SHW already, but it's just really cool to be able to watch this progression. And Carly Bravo is just one of many that we've seen, you know, progress along the way. So I just find that very, very cool.
To be part of the development as well. Just
yeah.
It is extremely rewarding, and I'll tell you, I absolutely love it. We get the opportunity to see people and go, yeah, that's one right there. You know, we said that same thing when we had Ben Buchanan on the show about a year or so ago, and we were just like, this guy is a star, you know, and, you know, now we see how he is progressing, and we've seen it with a number of folks who have come through SHW. All the more reason why you should make your way to SHW 33 or go back and watch our catalog, because, you know, for me, I'm the guy who likes to be able to say, hey, they came from wherever, if you see them on some other platform. The cool thing is to have a platform like SHW where we just got amazing people. And to see, again, if you go back, you know, to think that last month, we had Jimmy Wang Yang just randomly show up on our podcast. I didn't even know he was in the building, right? So it's just you never know who's going to show up. And they're coming to SHW because a lot of special things are happening. I don't know if I can, well, I'm here now. You know, I remember the Evolve promotion. And one of the things that I always thought that was cool about Evolve was Evolve ended up developing relationships with other organizations where people would literally come and camp out at the Evolve shows, figuring out who they're going to sign next, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of thing that SHW is doing. And so Jericho and Kenny Omega just don't show up for no reason, right? There's clearly something special that's happening in SHW. All the more reason you guys need to be there. And shout out to Carly Bravo. I'm pumped to see him finally in an SHW ring.
Absolutely. A couple more matches that were announced this past week. Well, we saw what happened in the tag team championship match at the last show. Technical Excellence, Kyle Matthews, Chip Day. Unfortunately, well, I don't mean to sound biased here. I'm supposed to be unbiased as a journalist, I guess. But unfortunately, they lost. I'll just say it. And Zicky Dice, Ashton Starr are officially the new tag team champions, albeit under some sketchy circumstances. Let's just put it that way. Well, now we've got two matches coming out of that, two singles matches. So it'd be interesting to see both of these singles matches. And I don't know if Tech X will end up getting maybe a rematch for the tag titles along the way at some point, maybe down the road. I don't know.
You know, one of the things that we learned at SHW Still Here 3 is that the rules aren't always very clear. Ask our queen, right? So because of that, in my mind, I would tend to think that the tag team champions would be due an automatic rematch. It just kind of is kind of the thing. But in this particular case, that doesn't always happen. And I guess in fairness, you know, when I think about it, our first tag team champions didn't get a rematch. Our second tag team champions in Lethal Poison didn't get a rematch. So maybe that is the thing. So, you know, that's not a shot. It's just kind of noticing a certain trend. However you look at it, I will say that if either one of the members of Tech X win their match, they absolutely deserve a title match. And I would say, honestly, I don't know the wisdom of this for the tag champions. Because here's the deal. The tag team champions have an opportunity when they're together to pull off some weird chicanery and some switcheroos and all that kind of stuff. But you don't really want to deal with Kyle Matthews and or Chip Day by themselves.
Right.
They are individually technical wrestlers of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm frightened, actually, for Ashton Starr and Zicky Dice. This may not go their way at all. So good luck, guys.
I think if anything, it's lucky for them that they get a month off as far as defending the titles. So they
they managed to work that out.
I don't know. I guess
these guys, chicanery.
Could have sweet talked management or something. I'm not quite sure. Also, I'm not quite sure. I think Diana's trying to log back in with a different device. Oh, there she is. There she's back. But
I can hear you. I just couldn't.
And we knew you were there. We just couldn't see your lovely face. But there you are.
Yeah.
She's multiple devices. I told you she's a busy lady. She's got people paging her on one device. You know, one calling her on another.
You have to keep moving. How to keep the show going.
She's in high demand, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I tell you what. It's going to be an amazing show. Again, we're off next week. We're spending the whole week. We're going to go to the island somewhere and celebrate GB's birthday, I think, for the whole week. So
that would be great.
Are we taking the Wheel of Fortune trip?
Oh yeah, we're all going to Barbados. That's what we're doing.
I wish, right? Oh my gosh.
Tell Yanni, sorry, you're bringing us as well.
Yeah.
Got +2. It's okay.
Yeah, no big deal.
Okay.
It's a birthday trip. Yeah, it's
no
GB's birthday.
Deal.
Come on now.
Absolutely.
So we'll be off next week, but then the week after that will be November 5th, and it will be SHW 33. We'll be bringing you the live pre-show, and it's going to be amazing. So get your tail out there. Come see what cool signs that Cheyenne has. And
Did you
we
say tail?
Tailgating.
As in tailgate?
Bring your tail out to tailgate.
There it is.
I'm planning. I'm already planning. I'm going to leave the house at 9:30 in the morning to get through traffic.
Yeah.
To maybe grab a slice of pizza.
Dedication
was good.
I don't know if that's on the menu. I will have to check. So Jeff and Nadine were the one that had the massive setup out there.
File cabinet holds. I want to bite.
Yes.
So sometimes they bring a grill or smoker. This time they fashioned a file cabinet into a pizza oven. So pizza was on the menu at the last show. I'm not sure what's going to be on the menu at this show. I'm sure if they're listening, Jeff will let me know because he did last time, and I appreciate it. So. We got just have the best fans. They bring the best signs. They tailgate before the shows. It's just incredible. I just can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I say it every month. I just can't wait until the next show. So definitely want to come join us. Again, we won't be here next week, but all of the rest of the matches will be announced next week via social media. So be sure you check out Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And you can find out all the matches leading into November 5th, SHW 33.
And if you need the backstory, check it out on IWTV because there's so much that you've already missed if you haven't been watching.
Absolutely. Check out all of our shows. Check out Hold Your Fork, the documentary. It's also on IWTV. And you just get all SHW all the time. Just check it out. I'm telling you.
That's right.
But until we see you next time, go Braves. And this has been
SHW.
The queen is here. Oh, this is our wrestling.
Oh, there it is.
All hail the queen.